not ours, Jess. We have no right to it.
What good does it do lying under this house in 2 leather sacks?
Leave the money where it is. Please, Jess.
Regardless of your scruples, Madam Pure of Heart, we leave with the old fool's hoardings tonight. What?
Did we waken you, Master Zolka? Did our voices disturb your sleep?
I possess a great thirst for water.
No. Please, let me get the water for you.
My thirst is deep, like that of greedy relatives for an inheritance they did not deserve. Or a cut purse with an evil thirst for money not his.
Master Zolka, by sheerest coincidence, as you entered, my wife and I were discussing financial problems of a husband and wife of but 2 weeks. Master Zolka, why do you behold me thus with that lone, evil eye? Would even a cut purse waste time on a penniless old hermit?
I trust no one.
I bring this from the well. The water in the kitchen pail, it's warm.
Should all the gold in the world vanish, there would be far less troubles and tribulations. All the thieves would shrivel up and die!
Good night, Master Zolka. Jess, I fear he heard.
Too much. Far too much.
He may flee through the window. Spread the alarm to the village.
No, he will not have the opportunity.
What do you mean?
Could a dead man spread an alarm?
Dead man?
Poor Master Zolka is destined to suffer mishap. The county records will say of apparent heart attack or seizure. Neighboring villagers will cluck their tongues and say, what a peaceful way to go.
Jess.
Oh, it will be peaceful and quick and painless.
I won't let you.
What good is he in the world? I will do him a favor by smothering that pillow over his face.
Jess, how could you even think of such a...
There's plenty of reason. The gold and that lone evil eye.
What?
That horrible vulture eye. It pierces my soul, makes my blood run cold. I must rid the world of that eye forever.
Jess, you must be out of your mind.
You think me mad?
I have never heard you speak so wildly.
I cannot possibly be mad. I am too shrewd, too calculating, too clever. Could a madman escape an asylum in 3 days?
Asylum?
Yes, my dear wife. Those 3 days of the asylum made me more wise, more willful, more cautious. It is now that same caution leads me to destroy the gnarled, useless old man.
Jess, I beg you not to.
And I beg you not to interfere. Master Zolka, a word, if you please.
What? What's that? Who's there?
Jess, come back!
Only I.
What is this? Why do you interrupt my rest?
Jess!
I will allow you to rest very soon.
What do you mean? Taking my pillow? Why this intrusion?
Do allow me to return your pillow at once!
Dear God.
Help!
What happened? What? I don't know.
Jess, tell me you did not kill the old man.
The deed is done.
Blood? Why is there blood?
I will tell you why, dear wife. I smothered the old man with the pillow, but his heart beat on and on.
Oh, no. No!
It got louder and louder. I had to stop the beating. It would have broken the neighbors.
Jess, I can't believe this has all happened. I can't. But we must go now. Far away from here. Jess, it's so important that we hurry.
Yes. I will get the gold.
No! The money remains where it is.
The old man has no use for it. I found the gold. It's mine.
Then you must go with it alone.
What will you do? Running away to marry a peddler? Remember what your father said? Remember?
How could I forget?
How could you be a scullery maid in someone else's kitchen when you could have your own kitchen with your own scullery maids? We are rich, Lorna.
Jess, my
Rich.
father was right. I scarcely knew you at all.
Come, let that mistake now turn triumph. We will harness the nag, leave in the midst of the night.
Jess, someone's coming. Could they have heard the cries of the old man?
Impossible. Come, we will play the game. Good evening.
We are the Holub sisters, nieces of Master Zolka, his only living relatives. We check in on our uncle frequently to be sure that he is well and not in need.
How thoughtful. How exceedingly thoughtful.
We saw a horse in a peddler's cart in Uncle's barn this evening, and through that unshaded window, total strangers.
These total strangers, Mademoiselle Holub and Mademoiselle Holub, are Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan Barrow. The peddler's cart, our traveling shop. The horse, our sole means of locomotion. Knives, hatchets, and scythes, our specialty.
My husband Jonathan and I, we were caught in a heavy rain this afternoon. Your uncle gave us shelter and a place to stay the night.
Dear, dear uncle, I have always said, Kristen, that his heart beats with much more kindness than most people allow.
Yes, he is a kindly man indeed.
Where is he now, Uncle? In the barn, perhaps? Milking the cow?
Oh no, I took care of that deed in return for hospitality.
Your uncle has retired for the night. He was quite exhausted.
Deathly so.
But he remains in good health.
Oh yes, the last I did converse with him.
Now I wish to converse with him.
Oh, no. Not tonight, I pray. Such peaceful rest among the aged is not common.
If Uncle is resting thus well, we could stop by in the morning. I wish to discuss an important matter, one that will not wait until morning.
My husband is right. Your uncle should really not be disturbed.
Come, sister. You do recall the fitfulness of Uncle's slumber on many occasions. We ought be cautious not to speak too loudly, lest he hear us and start from his bed in a spell of temper.
Yes. As I said earlier, the rest among the aged is to be respected, especially by fond, solicitous youth.
We are concerned about our uncle, deeply concerned.
Naturally. There might be inheritance.
Why, sir, what does this mean? Our kinsman is a pauper. This tumble-down house and barn are all he possesses, both with full mortgages upon them.
I have known the poorest misers to house gold hidden in attics and cellars.
Jess, is it no longer Jonathan?
My wife may use either of my given names as she chooses. Master J.J. Barrow, at your service.
Just about everybody has two names, a first and a middle. We do ourselves. Some have more than two. A dozen or so to hide behind in as many different places. Kristen, least we can do is keep a civil tongue. Also a watchful eye. We will stay here tonight, Betty. We must be sure our uncle's house guests do not overstep privileges. But they're his guests. Be careful. Uncle Nathan angers so quickly. I'd risk testing his anger with a few questions.
And I insist that you do not.
Is there some reason, Master Barrow, if indeed that is your real name, that you wish us not to see our uncle?
Certainly not. Only his rest and comfort.
Betty, shall we seek the advice of Master Brannaman? Master Brannaman? In this rain? But why?
Brenneman?
A close friend of our uncle's. Fetch him at once, Betty. But I don't Fortunately, I do. Straight to the Brannamans with no delay.
Yes, go forth, Mitty, if it will soothe your sister's mind.
What did you intend to imply about gold hidden in attics and cellars?
Your uncle, my dear. He has gold everywhere. I stuffed my pockets. See?
What is that?
Oh, a handkerchief. Often a necessity. You see, I cut my hand earlier with my knife. Didn't I, Helen? Helen!
Oh, yes. My husband is very careless with knives.
But I failed to see a wound on thy left hand or do, however, see a furtive eye, terror in that of thy wife.
Terror, why should there be terror?
Why, sir? Why the moist brow? Why do you quiver and tremble?
By nature, I am a nervous man. I demand that right.
And I demand the right of seeing my uncle immediately.
No, please!
Remove yourself from my back.
I do not, sir.
You threatened my life?
Certainly not. Just put it away.
Allow me to show you my finest blade. It is keen and deep and swift.
The same blade that may have done harm to my uncle? Is that why the pair of you so insist he cannot be disturbed? Is it possible to disturb him at all?
It is time to silence this one.
No,
Keep
Jay!
on your hair, Constable.
Constable.
What's amiss here? Meddy said I was to come right over.
This man, he...
If it isn't the same charming chap and his lovely spouse that sold my spouse those extra sharp kitchen knives earlier this afternoon. How do you do?
I'm very good. I had no idea that I'd be meeting with the police inspector this afternoon.
Inspector! Now I like that.
This charming chap and his very lovely spouse have held me at the point of a knife.
My wife says he is the most well-mannered fellow to ever come down the pike, and his wife, the prettiest damsel to do likewise.
Nonetheless, they both have reason keeping me from my uncle's room.
After everything your uncle's done for us, this house, the food, and the water,
Kristen, I can judge character a lot better than that.
I'll tell you what. I'll just go in your uncle's bedchamber and rouse him from sleep. That's what.
That's all I ask, Master Brandon.
And now say to Nathan, Nathan, what harm has come to you in, say, the past 2-3 hours? And you know what Nathan is likely to say. Haul yourself out of here, Brannaman, and let a tired old soul get some sleep.
I'd agree with that.
Master Brandon, we have wasted sufficient time. I demand to know the truth at once.
Very well, Kristen. But if he throws me out, you have to pay for the battered carcass.
Heart. That beat.
Jess, we must get away. They will hang you for the death of the old man.
The beating. Do you not hear it? The beating. Why does his heart keep beating?
Jess, please! This is our only chance.
Do you not hear the beating, Morna? Why do you not hear it? Why? Why?
I have sad news. It seemed old Master Zolka died in his sleep. What a peaceful way to go.
I'm so sorry. Me, my husband and I, naturally, believe at once as to not intrude upon the sorrows of the nieces.
That's right, thoughtful of you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. God guide you.
Come, Jess.
No. No, the old man is not dead!
There's something wrong with your husband, man?
Ain't no need. Jess!
Is he having some kind of a spell?
I killed the old man! I stabbed him with this! Why does his heart beat on and on? Ugh!
Master Brandon, there's blood in the bedclothes. Our uncle did not die peacefully. He was murdered.
Oh, dear God.
The beating, it won't stop. Why does it get louder and louder? Damning me to destruction. Please make it stop. God, make it stop.
We got one more show.
Short one.
Then we have to go home. Here they come.
Although my name has become synonymous with terrifying tales, not everyone is aware that I hold the distinction of the creator of a detective story. In Murders in the Rue Morgue, a series of ghastly murders occur in Paris. The killer seems unstoppable until C. Augustin Dupin, chief of detectives, steps onto the scene. Come with me now to Paris, France, to Madame L'Espagne's fourth floor apartment. It's a rainy summer evening in 1842.
With you rattling around half the night. What's the hour?
I am not finished with the packing. If we are 3 whole months in Bordeaux,
I am not going to Bordeaux, Mama. I have changed my mind.
Camille, I have made the arrangements. Withdrawn these 4,000 francs from the bank. Written your Aunt Juline to expect us.
I do not care to visit Aunt Juline, Mama. She is a loathsome bore.
There are reasons enough to take us out of Paris.
The main reason? Adolphe Lebon, the bank clerk.
It is true. I do not prefer Adolphe Lebon.
Whether or not you prefer him, Mama, I expect him to any day soon ask me to marry him.
Could his interest in a 16-year-old child be these francs he delivered from the bank? And the considerable other francs remaining in my account?
I will not listen to your insults.
Camille, wait. Adolphe Lebon is not the only reason. You have read the papers. Within a week, 1 single week, 3 violent deaths. A woman tied and drowned in the river. And that unfortunate girl pushed to her death. And also...
Name one day there is not crime and death in Paris.
3 tragic victims. All women. The case is not yet solved. Perhaps it's the same madman who runs loose to strike again. In the Gazette des Tribunaux, just yesterday, Monsieur Dupin, chief of detectives, stated his own alarm. He advised every precaution. Doors locked at all times. Monsieur Dupin himself.
So Mama packs her bags and 4,000 francs and decides to flee to Bordeaux. Not only are you foolish, you are hysterical.
You do not speak this way to your own mother.
I say it again. Hysterical. Idiotic.
And I say we must leave Paris. Who? At such an hour as this. Who is there?
Mademoiselle Duval. Mademoiselle Duval, who cannot sleep at 3 in the morning because of all the violent screams through the wall. There were no screams.
Camille.
Do you think my ears imagine this hubbub? If there is not a swift end to this, I will complain to the manager, Madame Aboard. What a vile temper she will be in when I wake her carcass from that bed.
Marvelous. And then poses opportunity for us to share with Mademoiselle Aboard of Mademoiselle Duval and her wine-soaked guests who've kept awake those on this side of that wall.
Perhaps we have been over loud. We will try and be more quiet. Good night, mademoiselle.
If not, Madame L'Espagne, I predict trouble in the future of a certain gypsy fortune teller and her impudent daughter.
Good night, mademoiselle.
Did you see how her eyes feasted on that money? And calling me a gypsy!
Are you not a reader of the cards?
I am not ashamed of the cards. Do not forget that they have kept bread in our cupboard and a roof above our heads.
Well, I am ashamed to be called the daughter of a gypsy, who is a fraud.
Camille, was it not my cards that predicted Monsieur Lepom's tragic death in the fire? Was it not my cards who predicted Madame Marine Bellot's tragic illness?
For your cards, I would not waste one snap of the finger.
Why, Camille? Why am I consulted again and again by the same people?
Because even they are more superstitious than you, Mama.
Mon Dieu! You will suffer the punishment.
I am so afraid. You see how I tremble.
Camille, I did not want to tell you this, but twice in 2 days I have read the future. Our future. Black cards. Nothing but black. Once more, let me read the cards. If they speak favorable this time, we will stay in Paris. It is a promise. You have my word.
Keep the cards away from me.
Watch, only watch. What do you see?
3 black cards. You are destined for death, Mama. Beware.
Do not jeer. I forbid. Come, draw your cards.
No.
I insist. S'il vous plaît.
Have it your way.
You know the procedure. Well,
7 of spades.
and the second card.
3 of clubs.
Third card. Black or red?
This really is ridiculous.
Black or red?
Queen of clubs.
Black cards. 2 are only misfortune, but 3 black ones is death.
But only in Paris, not in Bordeaux.
We cannot be sure.
You were sure enough. But the cards were arranged, weren't they? The black ones on top. You clever witch.
How dare you!
Someday I'll kill you for less than that.
Who is there?
Pauline of Old.
What do you wish, Madame Aboard?
I wish for you not to keep the tenants of this floor awake. One has already complained.
Could that one possibly have been Mademoiselle Duval?
She roused me from my sound of sleep to come and listen for myself. I've heard enough. Continued disturbance will be grounds for eviction.
There will be no more disturbances. For the next 3 months, my daughter Camille and I shall spend the summer in Bordeaux.
My mama has spent her summer in Bordeaux. I, however, will remain in Paris. Alone? A girl so young?
The girl will accompany her mother. If I must force her at the point of a knife.
I too know how to work a knife, Mama.
Enough!
I will not tolerate such threats in my building. Do you wish the other tenants to think I rent to cutthroats and thieves?
I will furnish the references, mademoiselle.
That will not be necessary, but I shall ask you to furnish 3 months in advance for the time you will be gone. Only good business.
I anticipated the request. I was planning to leave this with you in the morning. There. Nurse. Good night, mademoiselle.
Humiliating me in front of that Madame Labourg.
No more argument. Get to bed at once, or you will be whipped.
I will not be.
You will do as I say. I have whipped you before, and I can do it again.
Try.
What did I do with that beating stick? Camille! Camille! Will you do so good to answer when I call? Camille! Camille, you she-devil!
Ah, Roche. I'm surprised to see you so soon out of the sick bed. You, are still very pale.
I detested the sick bed. Monsieur Dupont, I congratulate you on solving the case of the woman drowned in the Seine.
Merci. You're now in time to help me solve the newest atrocity. The double murders here in the Rue Morgue.
According to the gazettes, still no clues.
Oh, there are several dim trails.
There are three possibilities. The bank clerk, the building manager, and the woman in the flat next door.
Those three are to be questioned shortly, and a fourth possibility may also be delivered.
A fourth?
One not mentioned by the Gazette. Meanwhile, perhaps you would benefit from a tour of the specific crime scene. The bedchamber is that way. Everything is there as found by the police 2 days ago.
Well, everything?
With the exception of the bodies. Madame L'Espanaye and her daughter Camille were given burial rites this morning.
See. Monsieur Dupont, such an atrocity. Blood stains everywhere. I've never seen such an equal of this.
You are still very new in this business, Roche.
I defer new inspection. My stomach's a little...
You should have been here 2 days ago.
The papers say the victims were mutilated.
The body of the girl was found in the fireplace, thrust into the chimney, head dangling.
Both throats slashed.
With an instrument no less sharp than that of a razor.
Point towards a man, does it not?
Yeah, Adolphe Lebon delivered the money to L'Espagnaye before they were murdered that afternoon. Perhaps you would like to look out the window?
But it's locked.
Just open it.
You observed the 3-inch sledge.
Yeah, that'd be useful perhaps to a sailor. Or an 8.
You mentioned a fourth possibility?
Yeah, but I'm not expecting him just yet. Would you like to partake in the investigation?
Please.
It would be a great experience. Excuse me, officer. Will you send in the building manager and the neighbor woman? In fact, you may take charge.
With occasional assistance.
Of course. Oh. Good afternoon, Mademoiselle Duval. Come in. I appreciate your willingness to answer further questions relative to the tragedy here. Sit down, please.
You must realize what an atrocity I suffer. Gendarmes, every direction I turn.
It's no more strain for you than it is for the rest of us, Madame Bourg.
Allow me to introduce my assistant, Monsieur Robert Roche. If you would like to work with me, please.
Mademoiselle Duval, you were the neighbor of the deceased for how long?
Too long. Almost a year. Where I remained with the screams between those two. Oh,
And you would call the relationship between the two inharmonious?
today I would be a rich woman if for every time I yelled through the wall or pounded on him, I was paid in gold francs. That Camille, the worst kind of demon.
The mother was equally as bad. I heard all the threats.
Tell us about the threats.
On the night of the tragedy, Madame L'Espanaye screamed at her daughter any number of times. Once she turned to me and said, Camille will accompany her mother to Bordeaux, even if I must force her at the point of the knife.
Through the wall, I heard the girl shout, "Someday I'll kill you for less than that!" The very words.
Which of you was the last to see the deceased alive?
Well, I went to the door to complain about the noises, only to receive insults for my troubles. When the voices continued, I went below and insisted that she come in here for herself. So it was she, Madame Aboard.
Madame Bourg, is this true?
Well, it was not 2 minutes later that I heard the terrible shrieks, tried to get in to summon the gendarmes.
Continue.
It was the voice of a man crying, Mon Dieu, sacre diable.
That voice. I'm sure it was a man.
It was the voice of a man.
I heard no voices, only screams, and my bedchamber is beyond that wall.
Are you saying that I hear sounds that don't exist? That I am ready for the asylum?
I am only saying, madame, that you hearing voices could be a slight chance of, convenience.
Convenient?
To shift the suspicion. Gentlemen, perhaps it wasn't a murder or a suicide. Maybe it was double murder. Madame Borg was the last one in the room. She admitted it herself. She could have easily been tempted by the gold francs.
Mademoiselle Duval, you will regret the day you were ever born.
Please, madam, mademoiselle.
Who needed money to pay the delinquent's rent? 4 months she owes. 4 months.
The gold was not a motive,
And
madam.
how can you be so positive? She could have been frightened away before even having the chance to.
Ladies! Enough! I insist! Please, you are both under great attention. Oh, very well, have him sent in. Thank you, Mademoiselle Duval. Madame aboard, we may seek further contact at a later time.
You might be happier that the men of your trip of somebody else. For 1 moment, do you think I will remain in this death trap?
Please furnish us with any new address.
Voice, Monsieur. Voice.
Could it belong to this man?
Well, the possibility is extremely fascinating.
Monsieur LeBlanc, come in if you please.
Must I endure interrogation today, of all days? Only this morning was the funeral of my beloved Camille Espanier and her mother.
I regret the need to trouble you again, LeBlanc, but my assistant has a few questions, so please have a chair.
Monsieur LeBlanc, you were the fiancé of Camille L'Espanier, the late Camille L'Espanier?
No, but she knew that when finances permitted, I would ask her to be my wife.
Having known her,
For just over a year,
having met her,
at the bank where I work.
Madame Espanier, she made rather frequent deposits at the bank, did she not?
I believe she did.
4,000 francs, the last withdrawal,
2 days ago.
which you delivered to her in person.
I was requested to do so.
Madame L'Espanier was, shall we say, comfortably fixed.
I believe she was.
Unfortunately, she did not approve of you.
I don't see why that question is necessary.
Did you approve of her?
I loathe the woman.
Perhaps you and Camille would have shared, the gold that she left behind?
I resent such an accusation.
Not an accusation, merely a passing idea. Another thought. Camille Espanier rejected the liquidation. A second liquidation might have been possible.
Mr. Dupin, must I stay for further questioning?
Circumstances, they were very unusual, Vaughn. You were discovered on the street not 2 blocks from here at 20 after 3 that fateful morning.
I told you, I couldn't sleep. I only lived 3 blocks from here and I was out for a nightly stroll.
Do you suffer insomnia?
Actually, I do. Ever since my discharge from the Naval Forces 6 months ago.
Interesting. You having taken part in the Naval Republic of France would enable you to climb 5 stories of lightning rod cable and balance on a 3-inch ledge.
I will not stand for further insults.
But you are not free to go. Monsieur LeBlanc, I am placing you under arrest for suspicion of the murders of Camille and her mother.
This is insane. Completely insane.
The arrest is official, Vaughn. We must hold you as charged.
There will be a reckoning, Dupin. Do you hear me? There will be a reckoning.
Could the case have been solved?
I don't think so, Rocher. The bruises on the throats of the victims indicate a hand at least twice that of LeBlanc's. And did you note his small hands?
That I did not.
Great brute power was involved. One can say that LeBlanc might be agile, but powerful? Hardly.
I do not follow.
Well, there are certain things to consider. The murderer had astounding skill to ascend that cable, superhuman strength, and brutal ferocity. And he killed without motive. Had the gold been taken,
Perhaps he came for something more valuable.
perhaps. But the look on your face says you believe it to be a madman.
A maniac, escaped from an asylum.
The hair of a madman, Rocher, it's nothing like this. Found this in the hand of one of the victims. What do you make of it?
Monsieur LeBlanc, this is not human hair.
No, that is the hair of an animal, one known for agility, strength, and ferocity. After consulting experts at the Paris Zoo, I found that this hair belongs to an orangutan of the East Indian Islands.
Is this true? Could it be possible An animal could have escaped from the zoo? Or worse, the trainer could have trained it to steal and kill.
I considered that, but let me tell you more. A few days ago, I found a ribbon, which is peculiar to the cap of merchant seamen. So yesterday, in a newspaper popular among sailors, I placed a small notice. Found in Bois de Boulogne a large orangutan, which the owner may claim upon identification at 37 Rue de Lane.
You mentioned a fourth possibility?
Yes, he may be arriving shortly. Someone desperate.
Could this be him?
Oh, let's see. Thank you, officer. Sir, won't you come this way?
What's the meaning of this? At 37 Rue de Lane, I arrived to pick up my lost property, and am seized by two gendarmes and brought here by force, against my will.
I placed the item, monsieur. It wasn't possible for you to be at 37 Rue de Lane. I hoped you wouldn't object to coming here to discuss your lost property.
I am not a criminal. The police had no right.
You are not under arrest, monsieur. Sit down, please. I believe your lost property is an animal. An orangutan of the Bornese species.
The animal is not mine. It is a friend of mine, and it can be sold to the zoo for a very high price. Naturally, my friend wants to recover it.
Then why did your friend not come to claim his own property?
Oh, he suffered an injury to the foot from the deck of our merchant vessel.
So, may I have his name and petty address?
Oh, no. I am not at liberty to discuss that. Where is the animal?
We keep him chained in the kitchen.
He's held in a stable nearby.
You will oblige
Ow.
me by returning the animal at once. I will pay for all things necessary.
Can you identify the animal?
Who is this man?
Could you identify the orangutan?
Why could I not? He was brought here in a wooden cage to Borneo.
And only 2 nights ago, I assumed the orangutan somehow escaped his cage.
How should I know?
Well, let's see. You were with the shipmate, both attempting to capture the orangutan since one man could scarcely hope to handle him alone. It was very important he be recaptured because it had an open razor in one hand.
What kind of trap?
But there was a razor, am I right? Your razor?
Yes? No?
1 moment, if you please, monsieur.
What a clever scheme. Who are you?
Feel honored. You talking to Monsieur Dupont.
The famous Dupin? Who solves all murders even if he has to convict an innocent person?
Who has said anything about convictions?
Here, at 57 Rue de Lane, 2 women were brutally murdered, and you're trying to pin this fly to the wall. But you will not snare me, Monsieur Dupin. Even the papers say there's no evidence.
Here! Tourist, why are we here? Picked up from the hand of one of the victims from the hide of the orangutan. Do you recognize the texture, the color?
Yes. I lied. It was the animal that killed the women. I would have stopped it, killed it if I had the chance.
Your friend's animal or your own?
The animal was mine. I lied.
Then why not tell us everything? The truth.
You already know much of the truth. The escape of the orangutan, the razor in its grasp, my razor, yes. Pursuing him here to the Rue Morgue. I alone, Pierre de Monte.
What then happened?
The only lights burning were in this flat. The animal was magnetized by the lights. He climbed the lightning rod, jumped into the window, the razor still in its grasp.
You followed up to the wire?
I followed. But it was too late. The women were already murdered. There was nothing I could do.
Then it was his voice the manager heard.
It was horrible, horrible.
So there you stood in the midst of the butchery, fearful the discovery would link you with the crime, and certainly lead to the guillotine.
Yes, there was nothing else I could do. The animal had already climbed out the window and down the lightning rod and escaped.
I cannot say I blame you.
Now you know the truth. All the truth.
This time I believe you, monsieur. I'm confident that there will be no charges and only statements to sign. Meanwhile, alerts must be sounded. With the orangutan still at large, he must go behind bars.
Monsieur Dupont, if I were to be in head of the case, an innocent man would have gone to the guillotine. Adolphe Lebon, the bank clerk.
As I said before, Rocher, you are still new in this business and there is much to learn. But if you hurry, you might get to headquarters before Lebon is formally charged.
I'll go at once.
Afterwards, stop by the offices of the Gazette. The papers will be happy to share with Harry the end of the tragic murders in the Rue Morgue.
Oui, c'est ici, Monsieur Dupont.